Welcome to another garden vlog, and it's been a while since we worked on the garden vlog. I haven't even uploaded and edited the last one, but another battle of the wheat beers, except this is not a wheat beer, not a citrus wheat beer. This is a Belgian style.
Is it open?
Is what opened?
The beer.
Nope, not yet.
I not drank
Stella Artois. Supposedly, if you're a person that doesn't like beer, you'll like Stella Artois. You'll have to excuse my ignorance here because a bunch of the Mexican lagers were on sale, and this was right there in with them. And I was like, Stella Artois? That don't quite sound Spanish. I don't know, maybe Italian or French or something, but not Spanish. But I didn't pay much attention to it. I just went and bought it because it was on sale. Alright, we just popped the cap open. Probably could see some fog coming out of there.
I want to look.
And it's on a nice, pretty green bottle.
I want to see.
You want to see it? This isn't for y'all.
I want to see.
5% alcohol.
Daddy, I want to see.
And this is 11.2 ounces. So 12 ounces is the normal for American lager. Let's see what it smells like. What do you think it smells like?
I smell vodka. Yeah, it does.
It smells like a little bit of funk.
Yeah, funk. What is funk?
A little bit of a very mild beer smell.
Why are you
with a little bit of a funk smell.
Why don't you put some in here and drink it?
I'm not going to put it in there. Right. Bottoms up. Kind of tastes like it smells. Maybe a slight amount of funk. Maybe a very mild beer taste. Very kind of watery. And I have a feeling that kind of wateriness is probably why a lot of people say, well, if you don't like beer, you know, if you can just drink ice cold water, you might as well be able to drink this. Nothing like those citrus wheat beers, though. I've heard some people say this is a sweet beer, but to me, it doesn't seem not even as sweet as that Blue Moon citrus wheat ale. But what I'm also not getting is a lot of bitterness.
Why can't you put the kitty on the video?
The cat gets on the video at all times. Randomly, these cats and dogs just...
the kitty on the video.
I didn't plan for these kids to be on this video, but they kind of forced themselves onto it, right? Overall, if you like your beer not very flavorful, I would rather have something that is different, like the How Garden has that something that's different, that unfiltered aspect, that after flavor that I haven't quite figured out what it is yet. I can't see myself buying this again. This is coming from somebody that doesn't like beer, that is on the early version of a beer journey, trying to find something that is good, that is better, something that I can enjoy.
Well, it's raining again. A lot of wind, as you can see, and thunder.
I think this video is going to be mostly about looking at some updates and stuff we've recently done. This bale fig, for example, does not look like it's going to come back. You know, I think we got 2 marigolds there, though, that we planted right there from the seeds. And I think most of the marigold seeds that we planted around figs and mulberry trees and stuff have come up now. They're probably 2-3 inches. Not really full size, not flowering yet, obviously. This pink guava looks pretty much the same. It did drop a fruit the other day and it was kind of dry. I went ahead and ate it. It was pretty good. Kind of like a Mexican cream guava or something, but still has a few on it. But a lot of insect damage and stuff here. And it looks like it's shooting up just like new sucker from the, I don't know if that's the roots or it's just very low. It's probably 2.5, 3 foot tall. So we're out in the back forested area, and none of the persimmons we put on this American persimmon sucker has taken. None of the grafts have took. We've grafted probably 6 or 7 over the last couple years on that, and it's got like a sucker from the root sucker there, so there could be 2 or 3 grafts if they would take, and they'll probably keep suckering. It'll probably shoot suckers out all over the place, but none of the grafts have taken. Let's see if I can see what was on there. We got Seijo or Saijo, and I don't know what the other one is. It's already faded. Ever-bearing mulberry seedling number 4 has pretty much died at the top, but it does have some growth right there from very low, not quite at the roots. You can see there's some bug damage. Ever-bearing seedling 3 is doing pretty good, and the little Jabota Caba we got right there. Well, I don't see the label. It looks nice and green and healthy. Our Maui cutting that was stuck in the ground, mulberry, is got some good growth on it. Still, a little avocado here has got some new green growth, but there's also a dark spot there. So I'm wondering if it's going to get whatever that creeps up on these guys and kills it, or if it's going to snap out. Another Jabota Caba. This is a red hybrid that was planted in an old rotten maple tree that just fell over and rotted there. So this was one of the few areas where I've seen actual earthworms here in a super acidic soil where it was raised up a few inches above the ground, the regular soil level. So the IXL grafted pawpaw that I grafted onto this Pennsylvania golden pawpaw, it took off initially, and then I think the main Pennsylvania golden sort of took all of its energy, and then the graft died, and the low graft, which was, let me see, a mango, I think has died too. Now, here is an area right at the forest, the border of our property here, where we had an avocado that was really struggling. But look at there, all new leaves, and it's no black on it, so that guy, as long as it survives the winter, it may actually be a winner here. White sapote we put in the back in this kind of old barn area with the Jabota Caba there, and another avocado that has some burnt leaves and stress, but it looks like it's throwing off some new leaves and stuff there too, so maybe that guy's going to recover.
I want to show you how many small grasshoppers we caught.
You got grasshoppers?
I found 1, 2, and then 3.
Tiny little boogers, huh?
Yeah.
Are you having fun catching grasshoppers?
Yeah. Yeah.
How about you, JJ? Are you having fun?
It's fun.
They can't see it. You're moving all around.
Ah! No! Yo! My grasshopper!
Did you get him?
No, I'm looking for him. Oh,
You see
I
him?
got him! I got him!
All right, watch out. Don't scrape against that newly grafted. If you break it. Oh, Charlie, so we have basically almost 3 acres to run around here and catch grasshoppers on, and they have to be right here under me, making a bunch of noise.
2, 3, 4.
So this is the last red azarol that's alive, but again, a lot of bug damage. The other graft right there, it was alive and then it failed. So let's hope we'll have at least one. Maybe when wintertime comes, some of the insects will be gone and maybe it'll still be alive. Then we have the, what is this? This is the red sun, and it's doing pretty good. It's got like 13, 14 inches of growth on it from that we grafted onto a mayhaw. As you can see, I guess bugs don't like it quite as much. Maybe that's a good thing. One of our red hybrid Jabota Cabas isn't even there anymore. I wonder if something got it and ate the top off or to the ground. There's the tag. And I put the plant pots right beside of them so that they're easy to see in case, we get some weeds and stuff growing over them. There's nothing there. It's like one of our GHB avocados went from looking really good to toast, in a matter of probably less than a week. It is the avocados that were put more in a little bit of shade are doing much better, I think. Especially the ones up higher. What surprised me the most is this Mr. Twisty Cactus is dead. It's only been in the ground, what, a couple weeks? And it's already rotted. And this is higher ground. We were in like a heat wave, but there is some shade. And not a whole lot of rain that should have rotted it, but it just does not like our ground, I guess. Let's look at the avocado planted under the camphor tree here. It's stressed a little bit, but it's still alive. I would like to see some new growth. As long as I guess we get a little bit of rain before it stresses out and overheats too much, and there is shade here, then maybe it'll be happy. The avocado we planted in that old sunchoke bed, raised bed, looks pretty good. It looks like something bent over at the top, an animal or something. But it looks really, really vibrant and green. Daddy! Now we're back in that kind of totem pole area where I built several raised beds for citrus. This is where that Meyer lemon died. And that I planted that avocado, GHB avocado here. And it is also looking amazing. Now we're on the south side of this giant oak tree. And there's that Swiss cheese plant looking great. Here's a Sabara jaboticaba, and it's not looking so great. I put it on the root system, the heel of a magnolia tree. This is the one I put at the base of a rotten long dead bald cypress, and it's looking pretty good. Here's one at the base of a big giant oak tree, bigger than the last one. It's looking okay, not great though. Got some brown, it's got some discoloration there at the top. This is one we put right beside like a French drain here, and it looks okay. Pretty heavily shaded here and wet. Jaboticaba we put in wetland zone 1. Again, you can see dieback, not looking great, heavily shaded. Moist usually all the time, sort of underneath this black Suriname cherry here. So it's getting super hot again, and we've been in like several heat waves. Almost every day we got a heat advisory. We had one day where it said dangerously high heat. Add that with humidity, and it's pretty nasty heat. I think 2 days in a row, the weather report said 100 degrees, which is insane for north central Florida and this time of year. Maybe into August we'll go to like 98, 99 on average. 100 degrees. It hit Tampa, I think, for the first time. Broke some records a few days ago, a week ago or something. But, I mean, I'm sure it has probably been 100 degrees here. I just don't remember too many days like that. I am kind of not super happy with the lack of progress on our garden this year. Although we made some, we made progress in the grafting department. We got our first loquats to take. We got our first mulberries to take. And we got our first persimmons to take. We just need to amplify the successes and figure those things out. We're hoping to have at least one of those raised beds done so we can put some beans, peanuts, or something out this year, probably by early June. That didn't happen, and now it's too hot and too late in the year to do that. So maybe winter of this year or spring of next year, we might can start working on it again. It's like, what's it called, guajibu or whatever. There is the scientific name. Has gotten a lot of growth finally. It's kind of growing sideways, which is strange. I think a dog or something broke one of the main limbs a couple months ago, but before then it had like no growth. But maybe that kind of promoted it to like grow out more. As you can see, that's like all new growth right there. Pretty new there, and some more new growth on this side here. So this is something like a guava or Cattleya guava or strawberry guava or something like that. But definitely a little bit more rare, I guess. Got another little rain. right before we started videoing again and showing you that guava relative. But there are a few, I think, of the Jaboticabas that have possibly died or are dying that we put in the ground. I think that's to be expected, you know, because they were just doing so bad in the pots. And some of them had such little tiny fragile root systems on them. I seen when I took them out, they were not filling the pots up with roots. I would expect, you know, somewhere around a year old seedling would probably have some decent roots if they were happy. Well, it looks like my Kazaki pomegranate is probably dying. There's a little green on the bottom. Of course, that's some weeds there, but it seemed like it was doing pretty good. And now, all of a sudden, lost all of its leaves, and the top is dying or dead. This was a backup, so the original is in the ground and still alive. So let's hope for the best. Hope at least one of them survive. Well, it looks like that white sapote that got ate up by bugs is shooting some new green growth at the top. That's a good sign. Figured we'd give you an update on this blackbird mulberry. Check that out. This guy's like 7.5 foot, even with the slant there. And the graft is way down there. So if you've been keeping up for a while on this channel, you'll know that we usually put a cardboard and paper pile down here, and sometimes wood and sticks and leaves and all. And we burn it every couple months, and it creates wood ash for us, and we pick through the cardboard as needed to make raised beds before it's burnt. And usually try to pick any tape off. If there's too much tape or anything, we will pull it off. But I think we're just about at the end of the road for our burn pile. So like those other Toxicity Island burn piles that other people burned before I started burning, there were probably things, furniture and everything that people have burned before me, before I started burning just paper, cardboard, and stuff like that. So I'm sure a lot of people are probably happy to hear that we're going to stop, but we are going to get burn barrels. It's going to be probably more frequent, and we're going to plant something in Toxicity Island number 3. So that first one we planted that avocado in, and that that tangelo that's supposed to be citrus greening resistant. Both of those things are doing amazing so far. Even when avocados and stuff were planted out in different areas and not doing so amazing, we got quite a few unlikes and unsubscribers, and in my view, based on doing those cardboard burns and creating the potash, wood ash alternative, whatever. And hey, maybe we'll get some likes for saying we're stopping now. But I guess, you know, everything has to come to an end sometime, and that just, I can use a lot of this material for beds, for, you know, weed prevention. But when we move to burn barrels, we're still going to have to burn. And here's the thing, the same argument that I made on the last video talking about it, we have no recycling programs here. The ones that were around, you know, 10 or 15 years ago, I guess it just about bankrupted them. They were like losing so much money trying to recycle plastic and paper and cardboard that they just had to stop. So the alternative is to put all that cardboard and paper in a plastic bag that, you know, is going to be buried somewhere that has low or no oxygen in it, so it's not going to compost down for potentially 100+ years. When our local landfill closed up, they even had a chance to collect the gases that was released for 10+ years. Instead of collecting that gas and using it as a resource, they just had burn pipes. It just burned for many years. So as that mountain built up, that land was, and still is, not used for anything. It was just covered up with dirt. And once the mountain gets so high, I guess they're going to have to move to another place. They have to build a new landfill. So they're going to just expand and expand out further and further, more acres to contaminate. So in my view, it's more sustainable. It's a better practice for anything that you cannot recycle, in the garden. As far as stuff, burning it is not a great option, probably not even a good option, but it's better than just building mountains and mountains of contaminated land. So if we don't get a burn barrel or a couple of them before this season ends on the garden vlog, I just wanted to briefly just mention what we're going to do, what we're planning to do, because I knew that this season is going to be cut short. We've talked about it in several videos, several vlogs. It's just we don't have much left for the season, and why keep just doing videos just to do videos? And I've probably been working on this video 5 days or a week, and if you look at the lack of content in this video for the time that we spent coming out off and on, if we had a bunch of new and exciting things, we could probably do half a video or full video just about that subject. But we don't. And I know when we really are pushing out videos hard and making a good go of it and getting a lot of videos out there, we get a couple subscribers or so every week. But when we struggle to find content, and do 1 or 2 vlogs or less in a week, those subscribe buttons aren't getting pushed that much, and we are making $0. You have to have 1,000 subscribers and a variety of other requirements to even get on the payroll for YouTube. So we're doing this for free. So what can we expect for next season of the garden vlog? We just didn't have the time and resources to get another couple loads of soil, individually plant out and pot and separate American persimmons, these little jackfruit here, and a few other things that we just haven't been able to do. And some of these guys will be going to the local garden community, but a lot of these persimmons and all are going to be maybe a few of them planted out into the ground and quite a few kept in pots so that we can try to graft either next year or the next. They may not be big enough, in the fall or spring or winter. So we might have to grow them out an extra year. Since we did not get our raised bed built, we framed it out and put cardboard down, didn't get any soil in there. Since we did not get that built for early June this year, maybe something we have to work on the next season, to do beans or peanuts, which are beans, or something else. And we were working on another bed way out in the back for possibly asparagus, but I'm really not sure yet. A lot of times things shift gears. We were talking, last year or early this season about, trying to get into more bananas, but we only put 1 half circle in, and it's not enough. But maybe if we have more successes with this one here as an experiment, we can build more beds later. It's a lot of work, and we got to find an area where you can actually dig without hitting roots in every shovel, and it needs to be cooler weather. This 9700 degree whatever with the heat index of 113 just isn't, it's not the right time of the year to do a bunch of digging in the dirt. And I guess I'll briefly talk about this battle of the wheat beers, thing, which is probably not going to be a whole lot of episodes or whatever. But the kind of format that we've been going through is to do it on the garden vlog. And there are probably only 3 or 4 episodes left in the battle for the wheat beers. And I guess the thing is, can you find a beer for somebody that doesn't like beer? And Stella Artois supposedly was like that. But I don't know. It's kind of watery, kind of refreshing, not a whole lot of bitterness. But is it really something that tastes so different from beer? Like Busch, Budweiser, Natty Ice. It is different, but it's also very similar too. But we may also do an episode or two that's not a part of the garden vlog. If we find some sweet ones or something. There's a couple mangoes and blueberries that, maybe Natalie will want to try. So we may do it like in an indoor setting with tripods and all that stuff. But I'm not sure yet. As you can see, beautyberry season is just around the corner. Alright guys, I think that's enough for this video. Take care until the next time.